welcome to Adobe Live. I'm Danielle Morimoto, and I'm your host today. And I am a senior experience designer here at Adobe, joined by our special guest, Jill Rosenberg.
Hello, everyone.
Yay.
Welcome back to those of you that were with us yesterday, and welcome to all the new people.
Yeah, today is day 2 of UI UX Design Week, and Jill was with us yesterday, started a prototype, but before we get into what we were working on yesterday and what we're doing today, here's the agenda. We had 8:30 XD Daily Creative Challenge. Jennifer was just on, and Jill and I are obviously here now, and then after us is going to be Ainsley, hosted by Melody. So that's the schedule for today as well as tomorrow, so we'll be back for a third day as well. But yeah, thank you all for joining the chat. Bojana, Tim, Keita, thank you. Let us know where you guys are tuning in from. We are live right now in San Francisco. A little bit of a less rainy day, which is nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, we are going to be going through what we worked on yesterday and started in Adobe XD. Jill's been working on a prototype for Kingdom Hearts. And so we'll continue working on that. Before we do, I do want to let you guys know that we have a daily challenge going on today. So make sure that you check out the challenge tab and you can find more information on that challenge. And we will be taking a look at your submissions about an hour and a half in. And today I know you're working on either finishing up the music app, but we have more advanced prototyping coming in today, so we can give you guys some feedback and just take a look at those live on the stream if you submit. Yeah, but maybe Jill, tell us a little bit more about yourself, and then we can start talking and taking a look at what you're working on yesterday.
Yeah, sure. So I'm a product designer based out of Boston normally. So this is my first trip to San Francisco.
Yes.
It's been raining for like 3 days straight now, which I've heard isn't normal.
Very San Francisco. Well, I mean, foggy maybe.
Yeah.
Not the rain so much, I suppose.
Yeah, and yesterday I started on wireframes for a Kingdom Hearts website revamp, and today we're gonna take those wireframes and go into more of the visual design piece, followed by some prototyping eventually, most likely tomorrow.
Yeah. And Claude, I see you're on the chat. Thank you for joining us. Dee, thanks again for joining the chat as well. Yeah, we are both happened to have gone to Northeastern, which is crazy as well. Weird connection. We overlapped at the same time, which is super bizarre. But now we're here in San Francisco, which is awesome. Exciting. Yeah. But yeah, maybe you want to take us through what you have from yesterday, what you had started in XD.
Sure. So yesterday we took a look at, I'll just bring up the website really quick, just for those who weren't with us yesterday. This is the existing Kingdom Hearts website. I'll just scroll down the page. You can kind of get an idea. Not a lot of heavy content. It's mostly images and a lot of outdated practices for sure. So we went into XD and started wireframing some ideas for what a revamped, more current site could look like. So this would be the home page. You've got your nav bar with different sections, a buy now option, a image with maybe the logo, some space for text about Kingdom Hearts, and then just these sections that would have different information with images that would link to other pages where you could dig deeper into the game. That's the idea of this revamped homepage. From there, we went into the Worlds tab and what that could look like, using different logos that the game has for the different worlds and the video, and then just different aspects that are specific to each world. So we'll dive deeper into that today with adding some fun images of characters and images from the worlds. Yeah. So it'll start to come to life and make more sense than just gray boxes. For
Totally.
sure.
Yeah, and Dee, to answer your question, this is just a suggested mock-up.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, this is just sort of like, if you have a passion project or just something fun, take a look at an existing site and sort of reimagine it for Jill, like on her own, and see what she can do with it. Bring it back into this century a little bit.
Yeah.
We were talking about how, like, what was it, 90s it looked? Or like
Yeah, I think so.
older.
But yeah, I'm definitely not affiliated with Square Enix or Kingdom Hearts. This is like a passion project, you could say.
Totally.
Yeah, so, and then the last page we took a look at was the characters page and just different ways to organize the like vast group of characters that exist in this game. This should actually say, I don't know how this got reset, heroes. So we want to do heroes versus villains, and then just supporting characters, because there's definitely a lot of those. So that's kind of what we did yesterday. Today I would like to go into these and actually turn on our handy dandy grid and just look like on a more like deep pixel level at these, because yesterday, for those of you that weren't with us, I really just like threw this on the page. I don't tend to do pixel perfect wireframes because I just have found through my experience that that's not always worth the time, especially if you're on like an aggressive deadline. So that's just my habit at this point.
Totally.
Yeah. So normally I work with an 8 pixel grid, so each of these boxes is like 8 by 8, you could say, and just try to keep all of my like images on like 8 pixel increments, and fonts as well. Sometimes I break that rule. It happens, but
Yeah, let us know in the chat if you guys typically use grids, if you don't, and sort of like what your standard practice is on that. And yeah, before Jill sort of gets into like the visual design stuff for today, I also want to remind you guys that we have a chat and win, so make sure that you're staying involved and engaging with us on the chat. We're here to talk with you guys, and we'll add a countdown timer to the chat and win in about a little less than 30 minutes. But you'll get a chance to win this Moo hardcover notebook, and that will happen a little bit later. So yeah, just any questions you guys have around what you're seeing that Jill's working on, send them through the chat. If you guys have any questions about design process or just career questions, anything like that. Just let us know, and we're happy to talk with you guys. We're glad that you guys have joined us for the chat. And yeah, Jill's just going to be continuing to work on the designs and finish up some of the visual aspects today.
Yeah, it should be fun. Kingdom Hearts has a lot of like Disney characters, so I think this will be
so I don't know, did you end up taking the personality quiz?
I didn't.
Oh, okay. I definitely took this personality quiz, and remember yesterday I was joking that I was going to get a villain. I was like, ooh, like, wouldn't it be great if you got, I got a villain. Like, of all the, I was like, are you kidding me? Yeah, I'm like, oh no, I don't know what that really says about me.
Which one did you get?
I got Maleficent.
And so like one of the most evil people in the game.
Yeah, I was like, are you kidding? Like literally they're like all of like the screenshots is like, oh, you can get like Mickey's one of the characters and Goofy and like,
you get
girl from Frozen. Yeah, and I was like, great, I'm gonna take this quiz, and I got a villain.
Good.
So that yeah, with that we'll just keep on going.
We'll just keep designing.
Yep.
That's great though. I'm so happy you actually did that though. That's so funny.
I'm like addicted to like when there's quizzes like that, like personality quizzes, character quizzes. I can't resist. Yeah.
I meant to do it. It just didn't happen. I'll try to do it tonight, and then tomorrow we can make fun of me for probably also getting a villain. Okay. So I'm gonna start just like bringing a couple assets in here if I can find.
Cool, yeah, and Keita on the chat was asking, she has a career question.
Yeah.
How long should you stay at a position before you move on?
Ooh. You're asking like the queen of job hopping, so I think it depends. I think being in a job where you feel like you're still like growing as a designer is important. At least to me it is. And when you feel like you've like reached past that point in your position, that's when maybe you consider moving on. But I don't think there's like a set time by any means. What do you think? I know you've been in a job longer than I have, so you've been like...
Yeah, I think it depends. I mean, again, I think as long as you're being challenged, right, and you're interested in what you're doing and you're happy in your career, then, you know, like, feel free to stay in what you're doing. I don't think that there's like a set thing like a rule. Around moving around or not. But then again, you know, and like I've been in Adobe for almost 4 years now. But that being said, like I am on my 3rd team within Adobe, so I have moved around and I've had that flexibility to be able to shift around, to stay happy and to do the things that I'm passionate about and I'm interested in and like get different like learning skills as I move through the different teams and stuff like that. But I think that, you know, some people are like, oh, like you've been at that company for so long, like don't you want other experiences? As long as I feel like you're able to continue to get different experiences within what you're doing and like challenge yourself, then
I think that's the most important.
Well.
Yeah, another approach to that is what I've done. I've been at much smaller companies than Adobe. So I've changed jobs a couple times to like keep getting those different experiences. Because it's easier to like outgrow a company, I think, when you're on a really small design team. So it's just different approaches. Depends where you end up.
Yeah. I think you know when it's time to move on. When you're not, when it's really hard to wake up and go into work and you're not happy about it, then it might be time to think about a change.
Yeah, I think that's fair. Make sure these are all lined up. There we go. That's a really good question, though. I think it's something that lots of designers struggle with, at least the ones I know, too.
Yeah.
I want to pull in, let's see, like a cool image for top of this. Scenes, maybe. Looks so small. I don't know if there's a way to... Let's get bigger.
Is that a photo from the game?
There we go. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, these are all just like screenshots, I guess, from the game.
Yes.
So I'll just scroll through them so people can see. But I'm gonna choose one of these. I was thinking this one because I just really like the colors, and they're like the 3 main characters of the game too.
So classic, yeah. I've been studying up on Kingdom Hearts. I knew nothing about this before, and I like I literally like Google Kingdom Hearts. I was looking at like all the character lists of like who all the characters are in the story, and like
there's a lot. Yeah. And then like some of these characters are the ones that are like specific to
the game.
To the game.
Yes. Oh, I now know that because I looked it up. Yeah. I've gotten like this rabbit hole of like because there's like the Disney characters, but then there's like the original characters to the game. And I knew nothing about this complex.
Okay, so I'm going to, where did it go? This one.
Dee says that's awesome, such a cool game. Have you played before? Oh, memories. So I guess maybe you have played Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah. Maybe one of the older ones too.
Yeah.
Or maybe all
different
of them.
versions.
There's so many too. There's not just 1, 2, and 3. There's actually like 1.5, I think, and all these like middle games that they put
1.5?
out in between 2 and 3. They came up with all these games that are like on other like handheld consoles, but I didn't do those. I haven't owned all the consoles, so makes it kind of difficult. I want to, let's see. I'll just see. That's okay. His head's gonna get cropped off a little bit. Yeah, so I think too for our color palette, I'm just gonna turn Grid off for a second so I can see the image. So when I come up with color palettes for stuff like this, I like to pull colors from, if it's like a game, definitely pull some colors from the game. So I've started thinking about this, and this, for people who aren't familiar, is the like the cover art for like the actual thing the game comes in, like the packaging. And this is the like opening screen of the game. So you can see that it's funny because their website is like totally black, but then this opening screen is like completely white. So there's a huge disconnect there. So I think I would like to use more of like this lighter feeling for this revamp instead of going like super, super dark. So with that in mind, we're gonna keep some white space.
Nice.
Big fan of that. I'm gonna include a logo here. This image conveniently has some nice like empty space for that. I think that's like fine. So if this was a live website, this could be cool to be like a moving graphic, but for the sake of this, I think this static will do. And this is some text that I actually already pulled in. That's the current, I think it's the current description on their website. So it's like equal to the text that they have right here. So it's short, but for the sake of having copy, we'll use that.
Yeah, and like to the point, like the chat was talking a little bit about like colors, and I can't wait to see this prototype in full color.
Yeah.
I think it's crazy the difference, like we were talking about it a bit yesterday, where like yesterday's state, like where we ended was like these really loose wireframes that have like all the like just gray and like the boxes and just the general layout of what it's going to be. And today like starting to go through and like put in actual images and all of that that we were talking about, like it really starts coming to life. And we also were talking about like when you do user testing, right? We were talking about that a bit yesterday. What do you think about user testing with some of this stuff, like by the end of the day or something like that, or like the difference between when you want to do that?
Yeah, I think it depends on like what you're trying to test. So there's like different levels of your user testing, right? So you can test like general usability with wireframes, as long as you put like some assets into it so people understand what they're looking at. But you can also do testing once a website's even live and like completely built too, and iterate on that. So I've done all the levels there. So to keep with some sort of consistent spacing here, let's do 80. So this is when you're gonna see me start just using multiples of 8 like everywhere. And this is actually how I do work at my current gig too, is always like checking my spacing. You'll see that the margins right now are 256, which is indeed a multiple of 8, I believe. Yeah, because it's double 128. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, lots of math always. Yeah, it's really handy that you can like actually do different operations in the dimensions on XD. So you can like, if you wanted to make this like half of the width or something, you can just do /2 and it will divide it for you. But so I already figured out a couple of the dimensions on here just so you wouldn't have to watch me do math forever. But
it is a good tip,
but it's
though,
super useful.
Without having to do the math yourself fully.
Oh yeah, or like grab a calculator or anything. It's all like built in here for you. So let's see, this is going to be video. But for the sake, since we're not going to actually have a video right there, let's find some kind of another screenshot.
So Eric's wondering why always multiple of 8?
So it depends on your team, but it's a habit I've gotten into, is we work on 8-pixel grids. So our fonts are usually sizes that are multiples of 8, And if we need like a middle, we'll divide that in half. So it might end up being like, oh, 16 is too small, but 24 is too big, so then we'll go with 20. But we try not to stray like outside of that, because then it can get really crazy with the amount of font sizes you have, and also just like weights too, if you're adding like different.
Yeah, and to Tim's point, it's pretty common, I feel like.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Shows up in a lot of monitor dimensions, is what Tim was saying in the chat, yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Maybe I'll use this one. Let's see. Yeah. It's a good one. Goofy's
What's happening in that one?
Goofy,
yeah, I'm like,
so Goofy is about to like launch Sora like into the sky.
Oh,
That's
good.
what's going on
Okay.
there.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I thought
That's
that it was just like a lot of
fun.
hats from like, because it's pretty far away. I couldn't tell what was
Right.
happening there. No, there's like a full person on top of him. Cool.
Let's see. Okay, cool.
Goofy's got some strength. that I was not
He
aware
does.
of.
He tries. Yeah, this game is pretty funny. Like all the noises they'll make too. They just always have something to say, and it's like never useful. It's just noises. But yeah, I don't know. Do we have any Kingdom Hearts fans in the chat? There must be at least one of you. If you are, let me know.
I think Dave has played before.
Yeah. I want to do like. Oh, that's not it. There we go. 245. Of course it's not right.
Right, so it looks like you just were putting an overlay of
Just to like simulate that whole like this is a video. I think usually it'll be like tinted a little bit. Also helps the like play button stand out.
Yeah,
more.
Since it's white on like the full background color, toning it down a bit. Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. What do I want to do here? I do like. So this is an example of me not wanting to do math myself, but what you can do is like take it, make it the full artboard, and I want 256 on each side. So I'm gonna do minus 256, and then I'm gonna do that again. Okay. And center it, and that's the width that I want it to be.
So you're just trying to get an even.
Just trying to get it to
amount
be.
on the sides
Yep.
there?
Yep. Okay. Will it let me mask it? We don't know.
Yeah, you can go down to
Perfect. Okay. So now that should be right. Yep. I'm gonna say I lost my triangle. Bring that to the front. Okay, perfect.
Yeah, and let us know if you guys use grids or any type of grid system while you're designing. Curious also if there's anything that you want to see in XD that doesn't exist around grids, and like what it is that you would want to see. I know that that's been something that people have been talking about a little bit, but I'm curious what you guys are looking for when it comes to that. And since you've been working a little bit now, starting to work with like a pixel grid at least, it's interesting to see. Yeah,
it's really, I use grids a lot more personally just for like keeping vertical spacing consistent, because a lot of the work I do involves just like a lot of scrolling. Okay. So we're always focused on that. And normally I do design mobile first too, so it's actually a little bit of a challenge for me to do this desktop version without mobile first, but I wanted to just tackle it. Let's see.
Yeah, it'll be fun to see the comparison then of like their website versus sort of like what you have in mind.
Yeah.
At the end.
Yeah, it's gonna be very different, I think. Hopefully for the better.
I think
but you guys can be the judge of that. Let's see. Is that like? I also kind of want the type to not be 100% black. I think it's like kind of nice when, so super dark black is just this. I think it's a little bit harsh on your eyes, especially if the background is pure white. I think you go one way or the other. So I'm gonna just pick like, not a purple, nope, okay.
Eric says I never use a pixel grid, but I always want to.
Yeah.
You should try it.
You should try it.
Tim was saying, any reason behind the mobile first approach?
Yes, definitely. So I think one, it's like best practice to do that. Two, depending on who you're designing for, you might actually have more users that are on mobile. I know I do. So that's why we always put mobile first, because maybe like 60% of the people that use your website are on mobile. That's basically the reasoning. Yeah. And it can be easier to scale down. So if you build mobile first, you're gonna be building your design in more of like a column layout. And then you can figure out how that rearranges onto desktop, rather than designing something on desktop and then figuring out that it doesn't scale down well. It can be harder to do that.
And I feel like what you were doing with the coloring for like not having a totally black piece of text or like background stuff, it's becoming more popular too, to like tone it down so it's not just like that really harsh,
I think so,
full black.
I'm just being really indecisive right now, trying to pick one.
That's a great idea.
Okay, I want to add this as a color. Okay, perfect. And what is this, a good 24, let's see, light? Light or regular? It's always the question for me. I'll go with this for now.
Yes, you just started using your assets panel. So is there a reason that you started to add that color into the side there?
Yeah, just so that I can go back and reuse it on different things later if I want to. Honestly, don't know if I will, but it's a habit of mine. I'm also gonna create a character style right now once I'm happy with the spacing and stuff on this. Let's see. Multiples of 8. So we got 24, so that's good. 32 looks a little cramped. 40 is probably going to be too much. Yep.
So hello, Itzhak in the stream. Thanks for joining us. It says
36.
Complete beginner, getting interested in Adobe XD and watching us live. So thank you for doing so. Yeah, the assets panel, I would say also for those of you who don't know, like it's a great way when you start to add in all your colors and your character styles and your symbols for when you're working with multiple people and sharing files, just having like consistency across and knowing exactly what like colors everyone should be using, and it's a quick, easy way also just to like make sure you're using the same one consistently across your own file, and have sort of like that quick cheat instead of having to like go in and like copy and paste the hex number every time.
Yes, yeah. So I actually just created a character style for this too as well, so if I want to reuse this, which I definitely will, for different areas, I can just click it right here.
Yeah.
So you won't have to watch me fill in those boxes a million times. Makes it much easier. Gonna ungroup some of this.
We also just hit our countdown to 0 for our chat and win.
Cool.
Means that we're gonna switch on over to this segment. So make sure that you're heading over to Behance right now to start to enter this chat, because this is now the chat and win portion. Hey, okay, welcome back. Please make sure that you are typing away in the chat right now and getting a chance to potentially win. It is notebook time. Yes, Raul, it is notebook time. People are excited. I see you guys chatting in there. Let us know if there are any features that you guys want to see in Adobe XD that doesn't currently exist, that you're really hoping is in there. I don't know if you have any that you're like particularly crazy about seeing or have any in mind. I see everyone coming into the chat, which is awesome.
Yeah, I love that people just write moo. Like, I just still think that's hilarious. I don't know why.
They want a chance to
my
win.
sad sense of humor. I just think it's great. Moo, moo, moo. Yeah. I don't know. I'm not sure about like obvious things that are missing.
Yeah.
But I'm definitely interested to see if anyone else has.
Well,
things.
Congratulations, Keita. You are our winner for the chat and win today. So you are going to be getting a Moo hardcover notebook. Today I'm gonna have less struggles with opening.
Are you?
I don't know. I said that, and as I said, I regretted it because I always struggle with like these sleeve cover things. But congratulations! And if you didn't win the chat and win today, don't stress, please. You can use hashtag. Oh my gosh, moo.com/Adobe Live. The struggle is real, and you can get 15% off your purchase. And we also will be back on the stream again tomorrow, so there will be another chance to win, and also there's another stream after us, so tune into that one if you didn't win, but congratulations.
Yeah. I just noticed something in the chat too that actually is a want of mine now that they mention it. Elza said that you don't have option to animate on hover. You have to hack it.
Yes, that is true.
Yes.
So there is definitely some things in the work for Adobe XD when it comes to hover states. That's definitely something we know that people want and is super important to prototyping. And it's like one of those foundational things where it's like hover states, just like we need to have that. So I mean, I've been user testing some of the stuff that they've been working on for Adobe XD in regards to that. So that's definitely in the works. And for those of you who also have other like feedback and stuff like that, you can check out adobeXD.uservoice.com and put in your feature requests for Adobe XD and, you know, up-level other features that you see that people are putting in. And the team definitely looks at it and checks it out. So you can do that as well. Yeah, but for those of you who are just joining the stream, I'm here with Jill, and she's working on a redesign of Kingdom Hearts website, and is going through her wireframes right now and making them a bit more visual, and just continuing some of the designs from yesterday.
Yeah. Okay, let's see. So what I want to do now is I definitely want to have a more fun gamey feeling header font. You can see, so the only one they have on the current site is actually in the personality quiz. It's this situation. So I went into Adobe Typekit and did some browsing of fonts and found this one called, it's like Peachy Keen. And it kind of mimics that weird bubbly game feeling. So I think we're gonna use that, unless if anyone else has suggestions of fonts you can get on Typekit that are fun and gamey, let me know, because this is definitely up for debate. I'm not married to this font. So let me know. We'll keep this.
Yeah, we do have Adobe fonts now, and there are some different packages. They've started to put together font packs, so you can find different curations all together. So you'd have to check out and maybe see if there's a pack in there for something of more playful gamey packs or something. It'd be fun for us to add something like that in there.
Yeah. Okay.
So Ramon is wondering, what is your favorite video game of all time? Any system, any genre? Big question.
That is a big question. I think Nintendo 64 for sure, because that was what I played as a kid, and I didn't actually own a Nintendo 64. I only got to play it when I went to my cousin's house, so it was like extra special.
There you go, right? So that's like the memories of like when you're playing those games.
Yeah. And game, I'm like trying to think. Super Smash Bros. On N64 was awesome.
Classic.
Just like a classic.
Yeah.
Mario Kart. I don't know. I feel like all of those games were just like the best on N64.
Those are pretty prime.
Since then, it's been like copies and copies on every single platform. But those would be my favorite. How about you? What are your favorite games of all time?
Yeah, remind you have a favorite video game? I feel like it's also one of those things where like if you're a gamer, you're like judging, you're like, ooh, like that's your favorite video game? No, like mine's very nostalgic for me too. Like mine is CTR, Crash Team Racing.
Yeah.
Like, with Crash Bandicoot and everything. I played that like so much as a kid, and it was the same, like my parents didn't want me to have a PlayStation, so I would just always go over to my friend's place and play it. Love the racing games though.
Yes, yeah, I did too. Yeah, Mario Kart was definitely like a go-to for me. But again, only when...
Let's see, we have some people
Yeah.
sending in the chat some of their favorite ones. God of War, of course. The Witcher 3. I haven't heard that
Anybody play Kingdom Hearts 3 yet?
I
see that.
Funny.
Yeah. I hope so. Kingdom Hearts 3 was like... I think it was very different from... Let's see. The previous ones, but I think it was good in its like own way. That's my 2 cents there.
What's happening in that scene? You put in an image with, is there a wizard?
Yeah, there's a wizard.
There? Okay. There's so much happening. I love it.
This guy, his eyes are crazy.
Oh my gosh. Yes, please zoom in on that. Wow, that was so necessary.
Yeah.
He's very, he's got
crazy.
a cross-eyed situation.
Yeah, he's got a situation with his eyes. It's just funny. Okay.
I feel like that could be like a really good GIF where it's like the like on the zoom in on the crazy guy's eyes.
Yep, you can pull that from the stream and make it. I give you full reign on that. I think I'm actually not gonna use pill buttons. I think I'm gonna use like semi-square, squoval, if you will. Maybe not that much. Just because I'm used to working with pill buttons all the time, so I'm gonna do something different. No border. And I'm gonna leave it white for, no, I'm not. I'm going to make it just like, I'm gonna make it something where I'll remember to come back and change it later. So, what is like a really bad color that will stand out to us? Yellow?
You're gonna make it something
I want to like
come
back to it later.
Okay.
When we're going through and giving this like a real color palette.
How do you go about choosing like your color palette?
Maybe I'll just stop and do that now instead of adding in placeholder colors. So I want to pull some colors from this image, because there's actually a lot going on in here if you zoom in. Like you've got everything. You've got some really nice blues, pinks, purples, yellows, oranges, greens, like every single color. Not that I'm going to use every single color, but I think we can come up with some cool swatches and gradients too. I love gradients. I'm one of those designers, I think.
Who doesn't love gradients?
Let's see. So
yeah, Tim was suggesting a hot pink color for something that stands out. He says that that's something he always uses. I use the like kind of fuchsia, almost like the sky of the, but I use like this almost the snapping like grid color, like really fuchsia,
like all the way up.
Oh yeah, I really just take it up.
Like,
yeah.
There we go. Yeah. Let's see. I'm gonna make some down here. I'm gonna be a little all over the place right now, but let's see. Height. What is this? 64, maybe? Want these buttons to be not too small, but also not like insanely large. This might even be too big. Yeah. Now I need, it's not gonna be 64 wide, but I want to do, do again. Okay, that's like fine for now. Yeah, so I think we can build out kind of a initial color palette right now, and then as we go through the design, I'm sure we'll use some of the colors and some of them we won't. That's kind of how my process usually goes. But I want to definitely grab some of these blues. I don't know about, like, nothing too blinding, but but maybe a little bit too. I want this website to be more like fun and bright, and use more white space. So it's really going to be on the other end of the scale from the live site.
Yeah, live sites is really, it's like dark. It has
really
like
dark.
a lot of, it has like a really intense pattern going on in the entire background, right?
Yeah, we're definitely not doing that.
Oh, really? I'm shocked.
Yeah, this isn't a pattern designing stream. I'm sorry. I can't.
How do you guys on the chat typically find your guys' color palettes for sites? Let us know.
I know there's some tools for it, I'm pretty sure, but I'm a little bit old school when it comes to this kind of stuff. Because I'm like this is the fun part for me, or one of the fun parts. So I really like to go in and like pick my own colors out of it.
Yeah, Mel is wondering, what do people use for color discovery? And yeah, it's true. Capture is a great one. Capture is Adobe's like live capture app where you can go in and basically live just start to find like in the real world and capture a color, which is really fun.
That's cool.
Yeah. And there's also like the site as well, which helps you find like cohesive color palettes as well, and it has suggested ones, which is really nice.
Bright green. The whole site's gonna be bright green. Yeah, so I'm just gonna pick a few. Let's see, what do I got going on here? I want like deeper purpley color.
Yeah, some people use color.io.
Yeah, I've used that. No, there's definitely a lot of really like powerful color picking tools out there. But I really wanted to just pull them from this. Purple.
Yeah, because sometimes I feel like your content will help drive like the colors that you're going to pick. Sometimes you just happen to have really distinct artwork or something that's very stylized, and you only really have a couple colors that you want to pick from in your like brand or something. But in this case with this game, I feel like like there's so much visual color that you could really go in a lot of directions, and especially since you're going like pretty colorful and like playful with it. I like that.
Yeah, I mean, I design enough things in my normal life where you have like those set colors, and that's like what you use. So I figured, why not? We'll do something fun, super colorful. That's hard to get away with outside of this.
There you go.
Taking the opportunity. I'm gonna build, let's see, if I can do a couple gradients. I like doing this as swatches too. But let's see, I don't want this to be a yellow. Nope, that was wrong. Don't want this to be a yellow swatch, but grab the other end. Nope. And maybe this. Yeah, that looks pretty okay. Try to see what other colors would go together. Maybe this one.
So I also love using gradients, but I also feel like XD has like linear gradients and radial gradients, which are like the classics, right?
Yeah.
I'd love to have like even more. Like ability to control gradients a little bit in XD, like just post having like now in Illustrator there's
I was gonna say
freeform gradients, which was like the brand new gradients, which I'm obsessed with.
Yeah.
And it's just like so easy to use, and you can create like really complex ones. I don't know, I feel like it'd be really fun to be able to do that here in XD as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, that would be like awesome.
Yeah, but there are, yeah, to the point,
But
there's
also-
different plugins for different, like, blending colors, and just to add that in while XD doesn't have certain features. There's a lot of plugins that you can check out as well, for sure. But yeah, we have about just under 45 minutes until the daily challenge submission. So don't forget, you can check out the challenge tab for more information, but we'll be taking a look at the submissions that you guys have and providing feedback. So make sure that you go in and submit to that for today.
Yes, submit your work. I want to see designs, guys. Okay, we'll stop there. We'll stop there for now. We can always make more gradients later. I'll just sit here for 45 more minutes making gradients if you let me, so I need to stop. Okay, where did I leave off on spacing?
I also now realize
Cool.
I'm like, we've racked up a whole panel of colors in our assets panel. I'm like, all of a sudden I'm just seeing a bunch of colors, which is great.
Yeah, none of which we've used, but they're all
No,
there.
but they're there. We just have them collected.
Yeah, okay, spacing, how are we doing? 256, 128, perfect. And this, cool. So,
I mean, the other great thing about using the assets panel there, so if you have colors over there in that panel, if you have that color used everywhere else in your design, you can, if you change, you know, like that color in the assets panel, you can just change it across your entire
It'll update
artboard, like
everything.
universally, without having to like go in individually in different places and fix it. So that's like a big, awesome kind of hack to do, and it saves a ton of time. Yeah.
Cool. Okay. Let's see, what color? So I've got some things happening here. We'll definitely need a color to make some backgrounds or multiple colors. And we'll definitely need like a CTA button color, which I'll want probably to be all the same.
Cool, yeah, if you want to switch over to my screen real fast while Jill continues working on her design, I do want to show that off a little bit so you get a sense. So this is like an old UI kit that was designed, which is awesome, built for Adobe XD. But it basically just has a bunch of like different UI assets here. But we have the assets panel, and we have like all our different colors here. So I'm just gonna go in and like say in my design, I decide that I don't wanna use this exact color anymore. You right click on it and then click edit. As soon as you go in, you'll see like as soon as I'm changing this, it's changing across my entire artboard, which is really simple, really easy. And then I just click off and my entire design is like changed really quickly for me. So that's like one of the
super
biggest
powerful.
benefits I feel like to using this assets panel is I did not have to go in and click in every single place where I had that one color and do that. And it's like similar for character styles as well. Like you can go in and change your font really quickly. So that's like a really nice tip to have too.
Yeah.
Yes, Tim, abracadabra, as he said in the chat. Yeah, it's magic.
I don't even know what to call this. I'm just gonna leave it. Yeah, no, that will save you a ton of time.
And Roman, what I think you're asking, what about symbols? I mean, if you go into a symbol as well as sort of like your master symbol and you change that, it will change across your entire artboard as well. Yeah, if you have it linked up.
Let's see. I want to grab this corner. I think instead of having just straight across boxes, having them be like a little slanted could be fun.
Oh, going with an angle?
Going
That could
with
be
that
fun.
angle.
Yeah.
I feel like it's really trendy right now, which isn't like a reason to do it, but it's fun. Yeah. Now, I think it's something you can get away with on like a gaming website too, so. Let's see, I'm gonna grab the other one. Yep. I don't know if I did the same, but yeah. It gives it like a little more movement instead of it just being like chopped into sections. I'm gonna do, what color do you guys think I should do the buttons? Help.
Yeah, let us know in the chat if you have suggestions.
Yeah, if you
then
have suggestions for button colors, give me a hex code or just a general color. Whoa, that's not what I meant to do. Blue maybe. Could be purple. I am just like gravitating towards purple right now because of this header image. Because Could be kind of fun.
Nice.
Could be. Then I'm gonna do.
All right, we have suggestions coming
Yeah.
in. We've got a specific hex number. We have
Whoa.
pink
All right.
from Eric.
Pink.
Any
It's
other
gonna be-
suggestions? We had gold, which I think would be difficult to pull off. I feel like we don't have a...
I
know
get
you were
why I
saying
say
yellow
gold
earlier.
because like that's a very Kingdom Hearts color, I think. But I do think it's hard to pull off for like legibility. Yellows are tough. I want to put in that hex code though and see what's happening there. CCA02C. Yeah, that's a gold. Not a bad gold, but let's see. Yellow on white and yellow is hard for like accessibility stuff. I won't get into the whole all the details of that, but I think it's super important when you're designing to keep contrast high, especially on buttons.
Yeah.
For purple, I'll try
Yeah,
the purple.
someone said
too.
mustard, but yeah, again,
Yeah.
like that contrast can be difficult. But we did have purple as a suggestion. I feel like you're
Yeah.
going in. I feel like you're really going with the purple direction.
I kind of like that one. Yeah, that's the
Yeah.
the one that. Cool. Okay. Yeah, I'll keep that for now. It goes with the image. Let me add. Bam. It's in there. Okay. This button is too wide. I went crazy with the button width earlier. Let's do. Yeah, that's better.
So you're just trying to get a bit more padding on the sides there, but not too much.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. At least for these, because I have a pretty short CTA going here. If it was like show more, we'd definitely have a wider button.
Yeah. You
could
have a
be.
conversation in the chat around these
Sure.
buttons. It's like when you go, I know, like you can get really into the details of this stuff.
Oh.
It's like, do you go full pill-shaped button, right? Fully rounded corners, slightly less rounded corner, no rounded corner, right? Like, how do you know when to, how far do you take it? Those rounded
You just know in
corners?
your heart.
No.
No, I think, I mean, I've worked at places that use basically all those types so far. So, pill buttons, I think, are like really trendy right now. And when I use square buttons, I usually just do like a couple pixels rounded, just to take off the like super pointy edges.
Yeah.
I don't usually do, like, you could go a couple more. You could get like, you do like 4 pixels. And that's like the more obvious, like rounded square.
I think when you
Yeah.
have sort of like, even like we're on the subject also of like Kingdom Hearts, which is like this, you know, you have character design in some regard in this. I feel like,
Yep.
you know, like the rounded stuff is a little bit more like softer. You have harsher, like sharper lines. It's going to be a bit more jagged and just harsh, as I was saying. So it's
Yeah.
like also with the style that you're going
Yep.
with. In this case, you're going with something a little bit more playful. I mean, right,
Yeah.
like, I mean, their logo, you have really sharp edges,
They
right?
do.
But in the rest
Yeah.
of the design of where you're taking it, at least I feel like with the like font that you chose and everything as well, like having a little bit at least of the rounded edges makes sense, rounded corners, and then whether you decide like how far to like fully take it or not,
Yeah.
sort of up to you.
Yeah, we'll see how. 4 looks okay, especially when you're at this scale, I think. So we can leave that as that for now. Let's do, bam, symbols. Button.
Right, I once saw that we had like Pixar people come in and they did this whole like really quick drawing of the characters.
Yeah.
And they did like how they drew, is it Sully and then like Mike Wazowski or whatever, right? And like Mike Wazowski's drawn like full with like all circles, right? And he's meant to be like more like friendly, and then like Mike Wazowski or whatever has like all, is like built with all like rectangles. Like I don't know if you ever realized it, but it was like the characters just like it made
No, it
was,
makes
like the way that
sense.
they went with the
Yeah.
direction of like the personalities of the characters. They like fully drew them either with like circles or like hard edges, which was like kind of fun.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that makes so much sense, but I wouldn't have like thought of it that way. Cool. Let's see, what are my spacing like here? 37, that's a random number. Okay. 32. I'm gonna try to make this a little more consistent here. 24. So you'll notice that, well, this is like 24 apart, and this is only 32, or this is 32, and that's only 24. If you make this 32 also, like, they look a little bit unequal in spacing, even though numerically they're equal. So I tend to rely more on, like, visually making them feel right at this, like, scale. So I'm gonna group that. Pretty happy with that. And this screenshot, we're gonna need some kind of a background. I'm not gonna leave it gray, but I'm gonna have to figure out color for something that won't clash with the purple. It's either that or we're gonna have to backtrack on the purple. We might, but I'll leave it for now. We'll come back. Worlds. So instead of like redoing all of this, yeah, I'm gonna reuse some stuff. Okay. These equal? No. Of course they're not. Trying to figure out which size I meant to use. 642.
Have you already picked out like what characters you're gonna be putting into the design today?
Yes. Pretty much.
Yeah.
I picked a world for this page, and that'll like affect the characters there. But we can definitely choose for this page when we get there which characters we want to put there. I've not decided that.
I feel like my villain character should be represented. I feel very strongly that
yeah,
I should
think
be.
so as well. Yeah. Oh my
You'll
goodness.
have to take the quiz too, and then we'll make sure your character's in there as well.
Yeah. Then by the time we get to that page, it'll be all set. Okay, I'm gonna duplicate. I'm gonna keep these like a little bit consistent. I want to make sure 642 wide, just so. Yep. Okay, so world, goodbye. But I want to do this.
Christina, thanks for joining us on the chat. For those of you who are just coming in, we are finishing up a redesign of Kingdom Hearts website, or a take on it, Jill's take on it, of the existing site. I also want to, we can jump over to my screen, talk a little bit about what we were looking at yesterday, which was having more animation in your designs. And I know we're almost at like 30 minutes till the daily challenge submission, and I know people are working on making some more interactive prototypes. And so one quick and easy thing to do, and this is that same UI kit I was just showing, is around like the scrolling aspect. So right now, like when you have scrolling, everything is just like flat and it's all just gonna scroll. And so what you can do, and we talked about this yesterday, was using the fixed position scroll, which is as simple as selecting what you want to stay fixed. In this case, I want like this entire top header to stay fixed, and then just selecting that and making sure it's like the top layer. So as soon as I go to click play and watch my prototype, when I now, like slide through, everything else is going to stay underneath. I need to adjust this a bit. I have all my content here. Send this to the back. Right, and this is all underneath it. I'd have to go through and adjust this a bit more to the design, but it's really simple to start to bring things to life and add like small elements like that into your design. This one has a couple of hookups. So like when I go over to prototype mode and I start to go through, I think you can start to see all the different little places where everything is hooked up. And so you can start to like click through and actually interact with the prototype. and see those transitions. And I feel like it just starts to bring your designs to a whole nother level where you can start to communicate everything a bit more. And so Jill's working on like adding in, we've taken it from wireframes and we're now adding in some more of like the visual elements, starting to talk through like color palette and adding in the screenshots. So adding, not just having, you know, blank boxes anymore.
Yeah.
And then tomorrow we'll be back again at the same time. And I feel like we'll start to get into like prototyping this thing maybe a little bit more, adding some hookups, adding some interactions there, so you can start to click through and see like how this thing actually works and some of the interactions there. So I'm excited to get to
excited
that.
to get to that too. We gotta get through this though first.
No, no, I know you're jamming away on the designs here.
Yeah, no, prototyping is really fun though. It's like, it's really cool to see what you've been working on like finally work.
Yeah.
It's like the magic part at the end. Okay. So characters. It's just a process of reusing some of this stuff, making sure we're consistent with spacing and for this, I'm just grabbing screenshots for now for the visuals. So they're not totally perfect, but they'll do for this. Characters. Don't want anything too dark.
Too dark, like evil dark, or dark as in color dark?
Just like color dark.
My mind's still on the evil. Yeah, I'm like, oh no.
Yeah. Yeah, they're characters.
They're coming out with a second movie. Did you see that the trailer came out for the second?
I saw
Frozen?
that it came out,
Frozen
but
2?
I actually haven't watched it. Did you watch it?
Like you never, wait, when you say you never watched it, you never
I didn't
saw
watch
Frozen?
the trailer.
Oh, okay.
For the second one.
How have you never seen Frozen?
Yeah, no.
Yes, I watched the trailer for Frozen 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Does it look
My sister is so
look
excited
promising,
to see the movie.
or?
She's older than me, but she's so excited to see this movie. Yeah.
I mean, it's a really popular, wicked popular movie.
Yeah. I feel like at least they didn't wait a million years. Like when you have really popular movies, sometimes they don't make another film for a really long time. Like The Incredibles, and they just came out with Incredibles 2 like a million years later. I've been waiting for it, right? Yeah,
Yes.
but Frozen, like, I feel like was a franchise hit, so they had to start working on that.
Yeah. It was. Yeah, I'm like curious what the plot of that is gonna be, because I feel like, I don't know, maybe I just don't remember Frozen 1 that well, but did they leave it like unresolved? Or they're just gonna do like
resolved.
a second,
Yeah.
they're just gonna come up with a whole new problem to solve?
I'm pretty sure that's what it's going to be. Eric in the chat's like, Frozen 2. You didn't know Frozen 2 was coming out?
No.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Now you know.
Now you know. And you found out here. Okay. I'm gonna leave the footer for now. I'm not sure if we're gonna fully design out a footer, but there would be a footer here. Maybe we will. But it's not gonna be this color gray, because that's sad. Let's see. Gonna go with like actually, is there anything in here I can use? Yeah, don't want it to be that bright. I'm gonna do like a darker blue for now. Yeah, so this is kind of...
Sorry, this chat comment, Eric's chat comment, I can't contain the excitement, I just have to let it go.
Looking forward to...
I don't know, that just hit me hard.
Looking forward
like
to Detective Pikachu. Yeah, Detective Pikachu will be interesting. Have you seen the trailers for that?
I have definitely. I don't know.
I don't know
now
how
I feel like
about
I see like way too many. I watch way too much YouTube at the end of the night. Yeah, I have definitely seen the trailers for Detective Pikachu. Pikachu looks adorable.
He's so
The character's
so fuzzy.
funny. Do you think you'll see it?
Probably. Yeah. I mean, Pikachu is such like a childhood character for me.
Pika Pika.
Yeah. No, that was pretty important in the 90s. Okay, let's see. Headers. You are too small. gonna have to see what image we end up with for this, because that is definitely gonna affect the type. Worlds. Might need to pull a different image for this. Because I definitely want it to be well, I don't have anything super great for that.
What type of thing are you looking for?
Something that's just more about like the landscape of one of these.
Okay.
Because there's definitely images of that instead of just like a zoomed in thing for character. I wonder if worlds. I could use that. It's like dark. Let's see.
Is this like a Captain Jack Sparrow situation?
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Yeah, so I think that's what we're gonna actually use for the worlds section. I want to do the Pirates of the Caribbean world.
Another trick, so like one thing you've been doing is like you've been bringing in your image and then drawing your shape and then masking it.
Yeah.
Another way to do it is the opposite, where you have like a draw out your shape and then you just drop in your image and it'll automatically mask it for you. And then, I mean, you can always double click and sort of like adjust your image, but we can show that off and see. Yeah.
Actually, yeah, then I can just leave. So I can just drop it into this rectangle, right?
Yeah.
Is that, yeah, okay.
You don't have to move your text. I mean, you could.
Or I don't have to, so you just import it or you open it in a different
If you have your like
your
finder, yeah, you can drag and drop it in.
I see. Cool. I have to remember where it was. Okay.
Oh, there you go.
Perfect.
So you'll get the different hover state, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Boom.
Awesome. Bam. See, so much faster. This is.
But yeah, and then you can always double click in and like tweak it and make sure that it's exactly sort of where you want it. But that's just another.
Actually,
another way
pretty
of doing
much
it.
is where it should
It was
be.
pretty
Anyways,
good.
It was pretty good.
Spot on.
Spot on. But dark blue type is not gonna work.
Now we know. Yeah.
We're gonna go with some good white. Cool. I'll leave that for now. And then so this section is actually supposed to be the world logos. I don't think I want to drag those in because I don't really want them to crop, but I don't know the exact dimensions of them. So I'm just gonna import them. World logos. And there should be 9, so they're gonna come in huge, but yeah.
If you guys on the chat were able to design a world of your own, what would the name of your world be? That's something I started to think about. I'm like, what would my world name be? Right? It's so hard to, I don't know, come up with like a good world. Like I don't know if I'd want it to be like an underwater theme and then like have like a whole thing going, or what are some of the ones that they have in the game?
Yeah, so all of these are the ones for 3.
Yeah.
I was pretty bummed. There used to be like a Nightmare Before Christmas world. That was one of my favorites, but
I do feel like maybe now that I know that I'm an evil character, maybe mine should be more of like a colder, darker like landscape or something, like something creepier.
Yeah, so we've got Twilight Town, which is like the one specific to Kingdom Hearts. This I guess was from, which is funny, it's like San Francisco. So it's like a mix of like San Francisco and Tokyo.
Okay.
I don't know.
Yeah, no,
this
I
is from
definitely
a
think
movie
that's
that
the
I
plan.
have not seen. I think it's Big.
I was literally about to say it's like Big Hero 6, but I think that is that is the exact thing that they do with it. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, I haven't seen that movie, so that this world kind of went over my head a little bit.
Yeah.
But
Kate just said Marble Zone, like from Sonic.
Yeah, that would be fun.
What is this one? Arendelle? Arendelle? Oh, Arendelle. Frozen.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Speaking of.
Olympus.
Oh, they have just all the classic. So they go off of the worlds that already exist. Purely
Yeah.
in the games.
Caribbean, Pooh Bear. What is this? Tangled, and obviously Toy Story. So those are the
Toy blocks. Yeah. Okay.
Yep. Gonna make this. So
Those are the main worlds.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Yep. Drag these up here. This is actually why I was saying, yeah, hover state mock-up would be awesome, because that was kind of the idea with this, is these would appear like pretty small, so they can all live in one column. And if you hover, like the one you're on will like expand so you can actually see them. And then you can click on one to get the page to be about that world. So all of this, all the information below will be like specific to the world you clicked on.
Nice. Okay. Daniel, Diego, thank you for joining us in the chat. We're just continuing our designs here of redesign of Kingdom Hearts. So we're getting into the worlds page now.
Yeah. Let's see. I need to space these a little more, but we can do that later. Make it.
Yeah, wait a second. Where's Maleficent's world? I feel
She
left
doesn't
out.
have a world. She goes to
feel
everyone
left out.
else's worlds trying to take things
Oh.
from them.
Oh, okay. So I want all of those to myself. Is that
you're looking for like a specific item.
I now
and
like
you're
have seen
searching all the
everything
worlds.
from her view. That's how I feel. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so I go in and I try and take
You're just
over
trying
all
to ruin
of it.
everyone's life.
Whoa, okay.
Whoa.
Tensions are getting high.
No, it's so
see
funny
how
that
it
you
is.
got that. That's too funny.
Whoa. Yeah, my comments are becoming more. I now see why I got the character that I did. So bad. Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
You need to take the quiz now. I
all
need to
have to
know
take the
who
quiz.
everyone is so that I am not the only one being picked on in this situation.
Yeah. I was supposed to do it. Hey, at least you took the quiz.
I did.
I'm behind there.
That's all good.
That's not spacing. Okay. I think I might keep with our theme of like slightly. Maybe not. I was trying to think if I want to maintain this slightly.
The angle you started doing?
Yeah. I think it works well here because there's more space. I feel like having an angle here right below this is gonna be weird, but maybe I can start it down here again.
Yeah,
instead.
I do think it might be a little odd there.
I want it to be like a straight rectangle. Okay. This, we're gonna.
I do think it's nice though if it is one of your sort of like style, like branded things that you're going to be doing across the entire site, that you'll need like a little nod to it here and there, so it feels like intentional enough. Because I also feel like it's a little like you have like a subtle angle going on there that you want to make sure that it doesn't feel like the one place that you do it. Like you want to have it kind of everywhere across.
Yep.
Yeah. So Diego's wondering, are you using a template from the program or did you just design it?
This I just designed. Yeah.
Yeah, so she's been taking a look at the existing Kingdom Hearts website and then taking inspiration from the game and the website and just doing her own spin in Adobe XD. So started from scratch with like drawing out a little sketch and then coming in here and doing like wireframes.
Yes. Reuse this. Okay. Gonna check spacing here, make sure. Okay, we're still good. This, I think, I actually forgot how many clicks up I did. So 1920 and nope, looked at the wrong number. 2367 and so 5. So there's 50 pixel difference between the height of the two sides. So we want to like maintain that same slope. I'm gonna do this lower. Nope.
Is there ever a time that you do start from templates? Like, speaking of now that they're talking about templates a little bit.
Yeah, no, I think that's definitely, like, it's a good way to, like, start with something instead of coming up with it right from scratch, right? Yeah, so sometimes, that's my final answer.
Sometimes. I don't find that I necessarily usually start from a template. Sometimes I feel like I have other people's work that I'm starting like on a base foundation from. Like if I'm working like with a team and we want stuff to look consistent, I might start with something like that. Or just there's like starter UI kits, like the ones I was showing earlier, that like if I'm doing maybe like a side project or just something for fun, that I might just use some elements to get started, like different just like UI pieces or something like that, so I'm not creating everything from scratch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, definitely.
And like at Adobe, we have a design system, like a whole design language. So that way, like we're staying consistent across. And so it's called Spectrum, and we basically have, you know, like all of our buttons that we use consistently across, and like the different like standards of when and how they should be used, right? Like the exact padding you should have, and like everything like that. And it's good for consistency. It's also like nice for like quickly knowing all the different kits and pieces and parts that you should use.
Yeah. Yeah, that's something I definitely envy.
Yeah.
I do not have that.
Do you guys, in the chat, do you guys have
That's
different
so nice.
UI kits or like design language, and how do you guys feel about design languages? Let us know.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm working currently at my job trying to do some more of that standardization stuff that you were just talking about.
Okay.
But it's a whole different
It's a huge
exercise coming
initiative
up
to
with
do.
it. Than,
Yeah, it is. It really is.
But it seems like it really helps once you have it. It's like it will save you so much time, and it makes your designs like that much more consistent, especially if you're working on a large team, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Keyblade. Okay. So this is the section that is about each world has a specific keyblade that you get when you finish that, or like beat that world, I guess. Want to keyblades, and we're gonna do, which one is for?
So people in the chat are curious and asking if we can just define a little bit more of like what a design language is. Do you have some thoughts on that?
Yes, I think it definitely depends like where you work, right, as to how deep that is, but it's just like all of the rules, right, around how you use like different assets and like your fonts and just kind of like all the brand rules. That's my take on it. But we don't have ours completely figured out at my work. So it's a work in progress there. What do you think? Because I know you have a completely established
Yeah, we have a whole system. I feel like it's, so you have different things, right? You have like brand guidelines, but then you also have things that are design systems. So I think it's a little like they are two different things.
That's true.
Design system, you definitely have a bit of like the kit of parts, which I feel like is really what a lot of what it is. Like Google has material, right? We have now, like Adobe has the Spectrum that we're working on. And so it differs from a brand style guide in that like your style guide is really like your color palette and all of that. Your design system is gonna be like the buttons that you should use. It's going to be a little, it does have do's and don'ts to Eric's point in the chat still, but it just has all of the different elements that you should be using across to build up your entire system. So it's a lot more of the UI elements themselves versus a brand guideline is a bit more of just like, here's general typography and the color palette that you should use, maybe like general like imagery and like the style around that. But a design system is really getting a bit more into some of the actual like UI elements.
Yes. That was much more detailed and better explanation of it than mine. No. I think it depends on, you can get as crazy with it as you want. That's my goal someday, is to have like a really defined design language.
I feel like now that we're getting into more, there's sort of like with like visual design, you have a lot of the brand style guides. Now I feel like for UI and UX, you have these design systems or design languages that you start to need to use for your designs.
Yep.
Hopefully that answered your question a little bit. Let us know if you still have, you know, some questions around that.
Yeah.
Keyblade name.
Keyblade
What's a
name. This is a Keyblade. So
oh, that specifically is a Keyblade?
This is the one that you get in the Pirates of the Caribbean. I have to see, what is the name? Oh, it's just the Caribbean. Okay.
So is it, here we go.
Yep.
Caribbean or
Caribbean. I was thinking of that this morning. I was like, I don't know.
Were you really thinking about that this
Yeah,
morning?
because I'm saying it on the internet. And I was like, which one is it? But I've always said Caribbean, but it's probably wrong. So we got that world name. This should...
What did they say? Did they say it in the movie at all? Pirates of the Caribbean? I don't think I know the difference.
I don't think they do say it, actually.
I brought it up and then I have no idea myself, so.
Yeah.
Don't turn it back on me.
Okay. Let's see. Going to do specific characters.
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 Yes, my favorite.
I forget what this one is actually called. How do I see the image that's in this mask, actually? Aha, there we go. Okay, it's called.
So you just double clicked on the mask group.
Yeah, you can. It's just a single click on this little icon and it expands it.
Awesome.
Yeah. Wheel of Fate, is that? I guess that's what it's called. That seems weird for a Keyblade, a wheel. But back to this. Get that. I'm gonna try to drop the characters into these. I'm not sure how that will turn out with the cropping, but we can work with that.
Cool. Yeah, and for the character styles in the left assets panel that she has going on, you can also, right, it's as specific as not just like the font that you're using, but the size and also the font style. So if it's like bold or regular, you can save out and it will save all of those specific styles that you've just curated as a character style that you can use across. So if you start to have all your different, like your headers that you want to use, and then like your paragraph styles, then you can save, and just by clicking the like plus button, then it'll add that to your assets panel on the side.
Want to make him a little bit.
Okay, now we're getting some characters. Who do we have? We have what?
Yep.
Jack Sparrow.
Got
Okay.
Jack, always.
We've got the evil dude with the hat. I clearly know this. Well, wait.
Barbados. I don't know how to
yes.
spell that.
Okay.
I'm gonna have to look that up when we get there. But and then we've got
Who's in the middle?
Elizabeth. It doesn't
Oh, okay.
really look like her, honestly.
I
She's
skipped that one.
Yeah. She's
Got some ratty hair.
the worst one, I think, as far as like looking like the actor. I feel like I moved that and I didn't.
Yeah, the other ones are just so
mean to.
like they look so much like the actors in the movies.
Right, exactly. Yeah, for the most part, they did a pretty good job, but not with her. Oh, he's so zoomed in. That's why it's like, eh.
You can always hack it and
Yeah.
just do a white box.
That's
on the
fun
side.
too. Yeah. Can you? It won't fill though because this is like a frame now, right?
Yeah, you have
Does
a
that make
frame there.
sense?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I would
okay.
just add a.
Oops. Yep. That's what we're gonna do. That was too many. Okay. Cool.
So yeah, to go through your like your layers, you can you're hitting what, command and then the brackets on the side to go through your layer order. I know
yes.
I have to like press it myself.
I was
I'm
looking
unsure.
at it. I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah, so you
it's
can-
like muscle memory. Shift, command, and then brackets will bring it like all the way forward or all the way back. And then if you just do command and the brackets, it does like one layer
brings
at
it
a
up.
time.
Yeah, one at a time.
Yeah. Yeah, I had to think about that. I was like, I've been using this for so long that I don't know. Okay, is that perfect? Okay, I didn't have to draw.
So Diego's wondering, did you use another program to edit the photos?
No, these photos, oh yeah, so this is a good point. These photos I pulled from their like press kit, and well, I'm not in love with the fact that they have white backgrounds because they're JPEGs. I think it's like, it's a fair design exercise because there are gonna be times where you have assets that you have to work with as a designer, and you have to like design around that style. That's something that I actually deal with all the time right now, is square photos with white backgrounds. So, and there's nothing you can really do about it sometimes. So while it's not always the ideal, it's a valid exercise.
Yeah, I mean, and to Tim's point, I mean, XD is hooked up with Illustrator and Photoshop, so you can go in and like, you know, start to edit your photos.
Definitely.
Another great thing about if you do like edit them in Photoshop or something like that, you could just add them to a library, and then if you then decide you want to make another change to that image, it'll be synced up across your library. So if you just go into Photoshop and like make a change to it, it'll automatically update here in XD. So that's one of the like benefits to them being connected with Photoshop and having them in a library. And you can just open up your libraries and start to add things to them by going to File, Open CC Libraries. And then you can start to create a library where you can start to dump all of your like graphics in. You can also have your colors or character styles there as well. And then start to like curate and like share those with other people, with like your teammates and things like that. And we're coming close to the challenge submission deadline, so almost 2 minutes. So just make sure, I just want to, if you're working on those, to get those in, and then we'll be taking a look and providing feedback in just a little bit. But this is starting to come along. It's so nice to like start to see like the characters coming in, even though Elizabeth really doesn't look like Elizabeth.
Elizabeth does not look like Elizabeth. Yeah, it's funny. I don't know. They lost it there at the end. Like the rest of them are, I think, pretty solid. You can look at them and know, oh yeah, this is who it is. But yeah, she's just there. I grab. Oh nope, got a symbol for this. Forgot. Button. Nope. Oh no, what did I do? I think I put it in the wrong layer. That's why. My bad. See all characters. Leave that as more for now. Yeah, I want to give this some sort of color that's not gray. I think like a darker color would work well. Maybe I'll leave blue for now. And I want to make this button for the carousel, because there are definitely more characters than just the 3. I want to do... I want it to be the same as the blue, and I want it to be a little bit different from the purple. It's hard to do without knowing the background, but we'll make it like
so the idea is this is going to be a carousel, and you click through and then have all of your characters coming in. Yeah, it would be fun. I know, like, obviously on this stream we don't have like a crazy amount of time, but like I can imagine then like having that mobile experience of just sort of like flipping through, swiping through all of your different characters that you have. Yeah. And it would be interesting, you know, thinking through the design from having like the web design, and then also like what this experience would be on like a touch interface.
Yeah. Carousel would definitely be different on mobile. I'm a big fan of the the style where you have like the full image and then you have half of the next tile. So you can like tell it's scrollable.
Yep.
And you don't need this arrow. But because this is desktop, it's just a different.
Monier says Jack Sparrow is my favorite.
Yes.
Really? Do you have a favorite?
It's one of my favorites too. I think his
Jack
like
Sparrow.
sense of humor is pretty funny.
I guess like we were saying too, we weren't sure if you would consider him a hero or a villain, because we were having like those categories of hero, villain, and then we did end up adding supporting characters.
Supporting.
Is that what it is? Yeah. Supporting
Yeah.
characters, which is pretty funny.
Yeah. No, he's funny.
Yeah.
He's one of my faves. Do I have these grouped? Yes, I do. Losing track of my groupings, guys. So many. Okay. Messed up my spacing a little here. No, I'm not using that one. I use this.
So we have come to the end of the timeline to submit to the daily challenge for today, at least for our segment. We encourage you guys to submit, even if you guys have like work in progress. For those, you can submit those as well. And we don't have any that we're going to be taking a look at right now, but we have another stream that will be on after us, and Ainsley will be on at 1. No. Yes.
Yes.
1. Timing. 1 Pacific time. So feel free. They will be taking a look at those and providing feedback in their stream. So just feel free to share work in progress, and they will take a look at those a bit later.
Okay. All right. That looks good. Going to. I'll probably give these like some dimension, but we'll do that when we give them a background color.
Okay.
Because when I do shadows, I actually like to not use like pure black for the shadow. I like to use like a darker version of the color it's sitting on top of.
Yeah, that's always a really nice tip.
It like makes it less like muddy feeling. I don't like getting all those like darker muddy colors.
Kevin Lee says, okay, I want to play Kingdom Hearts now. Be right back.
No, don't leave.
Right,
Play
it's starting to
Kingdom
get
Hearts
me
after.
interested. I think the thing is like all the characters, when you already know, that's I feel like how they get you hooked, right? It's like you already like some of these characters from they have so many of them, and now like knowing that they're all in this one game is fun.
That's how they get you.
Yeah, and now that I have like figured out who my character is, just saying.
You can't
I kind of want to
go.
What? You can't?
Yeah,
Oh.
you just.
Why
She
did
kind of
Kevin?
appears once in a while and talks about what she's trying to steal, and then she leaves again.
Sounds pretty epic.
That's her role.
Sounds pretty good.
Okay, we
That's
got
her
all right
role.
costumes. So,
Oh, nice.
certain worlds in this game, not all of them, but some of them, and that's one of the reasons I picked this world. The characters that you're playing with have specific outfits that are like customized.
Oh, you know what you should
So-
do? Wait, instead of dropping them all
Okay.
in, we should make this a repeat grid first. So maybe delete, just so we can show it all.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so,
So delete the 2 and
delete
like,
the 2.
Yep.
So one trick, instead of having to drag
Yeah.
and drop them each individually in, is to make this one element and select them all, select everything, and turn it into a repeat grid.
I think it's one element.
Is it one?
Yeah,
Nice.
I think so.
Yeah. Make it a repeat grid. Draw that thing out. Yep.
Just want
And you
3
can
of them.
adjust and hover to adjust the padding in between the different
Yep.
sections there. So you'll get that pink.
Yeah.
Yep. And then when you go to all of the images that you have to drag in your Finder, cool. Then if you select all 3,
All 3.
yep, all you have
Yep.
to do is drag it into the first element there.
one?
Yep.
Aha.
And then you have all
They
your
all showed
characters in
up.
already. Yeah. So it's a
Cool.
nice fun thing. And like if you'll
Yeah.
notice that like you could like open up the entire repeat grid just to like take a look at all the elements that are in there, but it'll basically fill in everything for you, so you don't have like any that are empty. It'll just repeat all of your images all the way through. So if
okay.
you have you know, a quick hack into doing that.
So if you expand it
repeat
now,
grid for the win.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, so you'll see like it just kind of repeats it for you. So you can go in and you can just keep adding more images and stuff like that. But
cool. There we go. I want to fix these a little bit.
So do their costumes come with, is the costume just for fun, or do they have, is weapons part of the costume, or is it a separate thing? I just see them all, each are holding weapons in this case.
Yeah, so Goofy's like weapon, if you will, even though it's not really a weapon, is like a shield. And Donald has like magic in this game, so he's always got one of these. And they like change with the costumes when they have costumes. If that
so
makes
good.
sense.
Yeah, that totally makes sense.
Yep.
Yeah, and to David's point in the chat, we were just showing off with the repeat grid, like dropping images in and having it go through the entire repeat grid. Yeah. Like he says, it also works with text files as well. So if you do have a text file and you have a bunch of text, if you drop that into a text element, it will go ahead and autofill all of that in for you as well. So that's a really nice hack as well. Yeah. Not hack, but feature, I should say.
No, that's awesome. There we go. Huh, interesting. So is there, I wonder. Okay, so it just centered all the text. There we go. That's awesome. What's your name? Sora. That's your name. I want to give these some sort of a border. They have a little border right now, but they're gonna be on white. So we'll come back and give those a little more definition. This needs a slant. This will be higher. Images. This is repeat grid. This is so if I take images, I can just drop them in, right?
Yep.
Yeah, perfect. Okay. Characters. I'm not sure what it's gonna drop in, but we can.
You have a bunch of.
I have so many characters. I'm
Okay.
not sure all of these are like supporting characters per se, but I'm probably just gonna pick a bunch, and that way we can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Cool.
So you're just double clicking, going in and adjusting.
I'm just gonna like make it so their
cropping a little
heads
bit
aren't
better.
cut off at least.
That seems like a solid.
They'll be cropped a
solid
little weird. They probably should be more square images for this, but for the sake of just mock-up, well.
Who's that? What's that character?
That's a good question.
I don't know if I know that one.
Yeah. Does anyone know which world this is from?
Yeah, let us know in the chat, because now I'm super curious who this character is.
This isn't from Big Hero 6?
I don't think so.
No.
No, I'm like, I've seen the movie, but I don't.
That's the only one I haven't seen, and I don't recognize this. So.
Big Hero 6, we definitely have the top middle image.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah. And then this is actually so this is Donald in his like monster form.
I was going to ask. I was a little nervous
Inc.
to ask, to be honest.
The Monsters Inc. ones are like they're kind of weird.
Wait, so that's from if you're specifically in that world of Monsters Inc.
Yeah.
He looks like that?
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Actually, so these images shouldn't even be characters. I was thinking we were on the characters page. We're not. These images should be just like shots from that world. So we're gonna do a quick switch here. Scenes. Here we go. My bad, guys. I'm getting ahead of myself. There we go.
But look how easy that was.
Exactly.
To just using repeat grid, drop them all in, and they all change really quickly. One drag and drop.
Yep.
Love it.
Yeah. See, it makes it not as big a deal when you make a mistake. Yeah. So I wanted to have these just be images from that world.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah. Let's see, what am my spacing situation here? I keep forgetting where I've ended. Okay, 128 is what we want. Gonna grab this and this, group those together because I know those are spaced correctly. 126, 128.
So Robbie in the chat saying maybe someone from Monsters University? Monsters U. Monster U,
Yeah.
right? Monster University? Maybe.
Yeah,
I
that
think
was
that is
my
one
other
I haven't
guess.
seen. So,
Really?
yeah, so I want to. I just
Yeah,
I
that's
haven't.
fair. I mean,
What if I was like, I don't want to see it?
I don't
No.
want to see it.
I do. Nice. So you made that a symbol earlier? I missed that.
Yes.
Nice.
Yep. That way, too, when I decide I need to change my mind later, we can easily...
On the color or something like that.
Yeah, because I think what I'm going to do eventually is I'm going to make these blocks, like, fun, like, brighter colors. But if I do that, we're going to have to probably change the CTA to be more neutral and make sure it stands out on, like, lots of different color backgrounds.
Yep.
48.
Yeah, so taking a look at, like, what we've done so far, I feel like you have we have the sort of, was it the homepage, and then we have now the worlds page going through and like making them a lot more visual. We've added like screenshots in, the characters, which is fun. And now you have like a lot more of the visual elements, and then I feel like figuring out color palette a bit more, we can figure that out as we work through it.
Yeah.
Yeah, Tyler in the chat was saying, design and gaming, such a beautiful combination. I agree, it is fun, two fun worlds colliding.
Yeah.
Do you do a lot of gaming?
So my version of gaming is Nintendo Switch and a couple PS4 games right now, at least. But that's just like, that's what I've tried. I don't know.
Yeah.
I just love like Mario games and like Pokemon games and all the. I recently played the new Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu. That was
Did you like it?
It was pretty fun. I think there was some feedback from people that like played the original games back in the day, that this one was like, it's just like different. You don't have to fight like every Pokemon you come across in order to capture it. You just like throw Pokeballs at it until it gives up, and like it's kind of funny. But it was fun. I was very addicted to it for a solid couple weeks.
Did you use the app, like the Pokemon Go? Did you get into that?
No, you can integrate it. So you can like catch, I don't know how it works actually. I think you can catch Pokemon in real life, like in the like phone app one, and add it to the game on the Switch. But I did not.
Kevin mentioned Yoshi. I do love Yoshi as a character.
Yes.
Yoshi's one of my favorite characters. I just love that he like eats people. It's like my favorite thing in the world. Love that, and then just
Yoshi's
an egg
so
appears
fun.
and whatever. Yeah.
Yoshi, I think, is getting his own Switch game soon. So
Really?
I'm pretty
Oh
excited.
no! Now I might
I'm
have
pretty
to like get a
excited
Switch.
about that.
See, I feel like it's
I
like you
think
have one
it's-
thing that you really like, and it motivates you enough to get like an
And I think it's like a
I, like,
crafty,
didn't need to hear that.
paper Yoshi too. So as a designer, I'm just like, oh, that's fun. Anything
okay.
crafty, I'm like very into. So, so if it's crafty and it's Yoshi, I will be buying it.
He always is like, go Yoshi, go. Like always says that, and then I always say it when he says it, and it's a problem.
Okay. All right, so that looks pretty good. We got most of this. We'll make a second.
Yes, it's looking
second
good.
version of this when we do some prototyping. I'll make a copy and like change some things so we can kind of like fake the like hover and do some cool stuff. But
Yeah, until Adobe XD comes out with some hover stuff. Which
it will.
if you're
Someday.
watching this team working on it. No, they're working on it.
Yeah,
They're working on it, which is really exciting.
Cool. What to do next? So I haven't touched the navigation. Definitely we'll do that, and then probably just make it like a huge symbol and put it on all of the
I feel like
artboards
classic
or-
things that you end up making symbols are like you have like your header nav because you use that consistently across your design. You have like buttons and like your footer. Maybe
Yeah.
like if you have like player buttons or like you started to have sort of like those carousel arrows or things like that. I feel like typically you start to make those into symbols and because you start to change those, like adjust them a little bit, but use them consistent like multiple times across your designs. Yeah.
Yeah, it's good to just have those as symbols because you know it's going to be the same on every artboard.
Yeah.
But also if you change your mind, it just makes it really easy.
Kevin says, wow, I love the hero images, eye-catching. Yeah, it's fun now to see like the screenshots like coming in of like the game.
Yeah.
Okay. And I like that in this design, like you're making them a lot of sort of like the forefront, like the characters and the imagery just from the game itself is like large and visual versus like when we took a look at like what exists now on the site, it's like just like really that black background with like stuff going on. Like they have some characters here and there, but they're really like just like the cutout characters.
Yep.
Yeah, so for those of you in the chat who are starting to talk about like the type of features you want to see in XD or you aren't seeing now and you're like, do they have that or I want it? AdobeXD.uservoice.com, bring it up here. On my screen here, we have exactly where you can go to put in feature requests and like log bugs, and the team goes in and actually like looks at this page and bases. So here we go. Here's some feature requests. So you can take a look. There's obviously like the tap hover effect, so kind of what we started talking about, animate individual elements separately, and so you can see the different like votes. And if you really feel passionately that you want one of these as well, I encourage you to vote for it and just sort of like up level it on the page. The team will take a look at this and account for like prioritizing it on something that they should work on for the application and make it better, a better experience, and just like have more stuff. So we were talking a lot about guides. That's definitely something that the team has talked about for a while as well. We have sort of like carousel side scroll. There's a lot of really great feature requests on here. So make sure to check it out and add your own requests in here as well if you don't see something on here.
I'm just making this arrow button.
So Tim mentioned this zombie baby thing, and I just have to, I don't know if you're like subtly hinting at this, I told you about zombie baby. Yeah. I don't know if you're like hinting at my history with zombie babies or if that's just a super side, not related thing. But I'm feeling like my heart's racing and I'm like starting to get very uncomfortable if you know my history with the zombie baby.
It's about to appear
on this show. Getting like super stressed now.
Yeah, please no, not right now. I'm not right now.
I'm glad I did tell you the history so it's not the most random thing.
Yeah.
Okay, Tim has no idea what I'm talking about. I feel like much better about that.
But that's also
when I was
really
on,
weird coincidence.
It's a super weird thing that you said that then.
It's weird. Yeah.
Basically, when I was on the live stream a year ago, they brought on like a physical zombie baby, and I do not do well with scary things. And I basically said I was like, yeah, if you don't ever see me again, like this is why. Like I won't come back to the live stream. But I ended up coming back. But it took me a year because I was so traumatized by the zombie baby. God, I was just like, yeah.
You forgave them though. Okay. I'm gonna reuse a little bit. That way. Okay. So this is actually gonna be heroes. That's not how you spell heroes. Heroes? Yes, right? Is that like, okay. I think it just looks weird to me in this font.
I feel like the more you look at the word, like you said that,
weird.
and then the more you look at it, I'm like, oh gosh, I don't know. No, yeah, that is correct.
Yes, okay. I'm gonna do, why is this like spacing weird?
Spacing?
I see. I was just wondering why the margins got weird on me. It's because I centered it, and
you're counting.
It shouldn't be centered. Yeah, exactly. I was like, is this artboard like sized differently or? 256.
I think it's just if because you have the carousel arrow. So if you were to ungroup that, then if you centered everything else, everything would be centered.
It would be centered.
Yeah, but it's accounting for that extra space on the right side.
Yeah. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
And my spacing got a little weird here. 229, 245. Yeah. We're not centered, that's why. That's fine.
Yeah, I feel like now that the zombie baby thing, it's like the chat's now all talking about this zombie baby thing, and I am so stressed. I was like, I was kind of just gonna ignore it for a little bit, to be honest, the fact that that was happening. But Roman, no, I don't hope to get the zombie baby for Christmas. I actually asked where it was. If I said I hope that it had gotten shipped back to New York, because it actually lives with the Behance team in New York, and I was told that it was in New York right now, and I hope that no one is lying to me. True. I hope that it's true, or I'll be really sad. Yeah, but maybe, I don't know, if you want to start giving a little bit of a summary of like what we've done today, what you plan to do for tomorrow.
Okay. Yeah. So we got a good head start on the visual design for this. Tomorrow, definitely want to finish up just adjusting some colors, like finalizing the color palette for these like color blocks that are right now just gray. We'll put some images into these last few sections, and that shouldn't take long, thanks to the power of XD. And then we can dive into some prototyping and get some of this stuff moving around a little bit. I think we can do some mock-ups with the carousels, definitely, on like what that would look like. We can do some simulated hover on this. And I'm sure we can come up with some others, but those off the top of my head are, I think, ones that'll be interesting to do. But yeah, let me know if you guys want to see anything else specific move around on this page. Can do some hover states in this stuff too, but we'll see.
Yeah, so we will be back here again tomorrow. So let us know, if there's anything that you want to see Jill work on specifically tomorrow, but I think we'll be focusing on prototyping, bringing this thing to life. And we do have, stick with us, there is another another stream coming on after this. And here is the schedule. So again, this will be the schedule for tomorrow, 8:30 XD Creative Challenge, 9 o'clock Jennifer will be on with Melody hosting, and then we will be back here for our last day at 11 with Jill, and then 1 o'clock will be Ainsley, and so Ainsley is on after us right now as well. But I encourage you guys to work on your daily challenges. You guys can submit them to Ainsley's stream right after this. Get a chance to submit to the one with us today, and then we will be back again tomorrow. So thank you guys for joining us.